Seems we're live, but let me just double check.
Hello, world.
Hello, world. Indeed, indeed. All right. On LinkedIn, might take a little while. Sometimes it takes a bit. We're live on YouTube. Just a moment, guys. We're about to start. Just making sure. Yes, we're live now on LinkedIn as well. So hello, everyone. Carlos again with Evolve for another Evolve Talks. Today I have the honor to be joined by Mikkel Brecker. And Mikkel has a very interesting career. He's the commercial director, if I'm not mistaken, at Joom. But before talking about his current role, we're going to talk about how he built his career in digital commerce, had a very successful career at L'Oreal. So, Mikkel, instead of having me here talking and talking and talking, it's always more interesting if you can introduce yourself. Tell us about your journey, your career. The first time we spoke, and we were just aligning as well. This what this live was gonna be about. Again, you shared so much interesting stuff about your career at L'Oreal and how you built this giant, help build this giant in beauty, selling digital products, so selling online. So please, by all means, welcome, and yeah, let's get at it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Carlos. Want to start with thanking you for reaching out, for giving me this opportunity to share with the world my journey, my experience, and I hope it will be useful both for brands out there, for marketplaces out there, for other online businesses to just get a grip on how those big guys reach the point where they are. And let me just give you a little glimpse of what was before those big names, before L'Oreal. I actually joined digital business somewhat, I think, 14 or 13 years ago. I started in a little e-commerce shop where we were selling laptops. So actually, on my first day, I was like, should I stay there or should I go home and create the same thing? Well, I decided to stay. It was a very interesting part, the very beginning of my journey, where I would set up the product pages, download some rich content, sign all the distributors' contracts, and etc., and even hand out the laptops to the end consumer. But so let's fast forward a little. A couple of years passed, and I joined L'Oreal back in 2015. And just for everyone's understanding of how big L'Oreal is globally, L'Oreal is the world leader of beauty, and it's one of the only companies that is focused on beauty. There is no other business than beauty and actually tech connected to beauty. And now L'Oreal is the world known leader of online beauty sales. I think the 22 year has ended up with 28% revenue share in online business. And that is globally. And of course, if we look in Southeast Asia, in China, it's actually over 50%. And for some divisions across the world, it's over 50%. But in 2015, it was just the beginning of the journey. In the Eastern European market, where I started my career, the online share was like 0.01%, close to nothing. And I remember, like yesterday, when I was talking to the country manager who was hiring me, he said, Mikhail, now we have a steamboat of e-commerce, and we need you to make it a rocket. So that was a very interesting challenge. And so I joined L'Oreal as an e-commerce key account manager. And my first thoughts were, okay, we have those omni-channel players, we have some of the little e-coms, but what is there on the market? Like, what should be our goal? And we looked at the whole e-commerce landscape. We found the marketplaces that would have the right kind of shoppers, and of course, beauty. First of all, we're talking about women shoppers, mid-age, Gen Z, and started to connect all the marketplace partners. And with the portfolio, I was working for mass market brands such as L'Oreal, Maybelline New York, Garnier. So it's lower cost, more accessible beauty. And it's actually something you can buy everywhere. You could buy it in supermarkets, you could buy in convenience stores. So the challenge was, how do we distribute the portfolio of over 3,000 SKUs all over the marketplaces? Because each marketplace or each online player, they have their own, ERPs. They have their own process of listing the products. They have their own content requirements and etc. And I had a team of 2 people, including me. So exchanging the Excel files over and over again, and when the portfolio is updating 30% every year, so we would have novelties coming. It could turn into spreadsheet hell when you need to adjust for this marketplace, that marketplace, this content, that content. You have this image, and then you need to go like this mobile, desktop, and etc. So the first thing we did after expanding the portfolio is introducing a product information management system, PIM system. And back then there was not that many players there. If I remember correctly, it was ICE, ICE something, whatever, UK based system. I think Salsify was already on the playground. But when we looked at the cost, it was like, okay, we're going to spend half of our e-commerce turnover on the system, and that doesn't make sense. So what we did, it was actually one of the first Beauty Plus Tech collaborations, at least that I know of. And we decided to onboard and actually help to create a system called Brand Quad, which is now taking over France market and all the Western European markets, and I think maybe MENA region also. So what this system does is it actually has, as an input, you put the master data in, and then as an output, you just set up the channels of communications, and it would resize your images automatically. It would create the listing files for each player in the way that this player needs. And when you're dealing with retail, you need to talk their language. So whatever they need, you are the one who is going to adjust. And this system really helped us to streamline our assortment very fast across all the players. So next thing we did is we focused on the conversion rates, because you cannot fuel with traffic product pages that are unperfect, because I would say it is like putting water in the drainage when you flow water and it just goes right through. So what you need to think first is the conversions. And there we invested heavily in tech upgrades on the marketplace, and the beauty page you see now on Amazon, on Lazada, on Tmall. It is something actually that L'Oreal discovered and introduced to all the partners. Actually, it was collaboration with Amazon back then. So what we did is we basically agreed with marketplaces that, okay, guys, if you want to sell beauty, you need to sell it beautifully, and we focused on the product page and etc. So once that was done, the biggest challenge was the algorithms, because marketplaces are all about huge assortment. It is 20 millions, 100 millions of product pages that are competing with each other. And what you need to understand is how my product page will show up in the sorting. And inside a brand, there is a vision like, okay, I have views, I have conversion, I have the star ratings and etc. But now, after working over a year and a half in the marketplace, I do understand now that it is much more complex
Mm.
because, for example, at Joom we had over, well, a couple of hundred of attributes that would machine learning system take into account in order to show you the product. For example, have you ever looked at the category? Is it a complementary category versus what you're looking for? Does does shopper from your geography go into such product pages? What are the reviews? What are the ratings? Do we have enough stock? Do we have overstock? Because if you have overstock, you need to, lighten it down. Is there a sale? Is it a bad or good price in terms of sale? So many factors that machine learning systems take into account in order to show you, Carlos, or me, when we go to Amazon and search that, I don't know, toothpaste or whatever. They actually are the ones who decide what to show the very specific person that we are.
Mm.
So learning that, and it was pretty much a learning phase because there was nobody willing to share. Retail business is a pretty closed business. They don't want to share how are you going to beat their algorithms. So it's test and learn, test and learn. You make mistakes, you get successes. Like, for example, one of the best practices that we learned throughout the business is, okay, what is the biggest revenue generator online? Of course, it's Black Friday. It's the Christmas sale. It is when the retailer invests heavily into their traffic. But how do I win? How do I make sure that at these huge events, my product pages are at the very top of the listing? And you're competing with hundreds and thousands of products in each category. So what we learned is that, so imagine next week we have Black Friday. So
Mm.
this week we're going to do a BOGOF sale, buy one get one free. So in this case, the algorithms learn, okay, this product gives huge conversion. Why do we get huge conversion? Because we give a very nice promo mechanic, buy one get one free. It is, I mean, it's not 50 off, so we still value our brand, and we grow the unit sales. And unit sales is conversion, the speed of sales, and that is what is the most impactful factor for those algorithms. So basically, before Black Friday, we would start this BOGOF sale. We would teach the algorithms that these products are the ones that are selling, and then boom, when you have Black Friday, we stop the BOGOF, we do somewhat discount according to our plans and etc. And all the traffic that is going into the beauty category. It goes from outside the platform, from the search, from when you go into the catalog. Everything goes to our products, and this gave us a humongous boost of sales.
That's very interesting. You strike me as someone who is really passionate about performance in a way, right? In for like
Yeah,
a retail operation, all things with performance and selling.
yeah.
That's very cool. So, Miguel, just to go, fast forward now, and so you had this amazing experience there at L'Oreal, where you guys built something very significant, I would say, and then at some point you decided to join your current company, Joom. But before that, is there anything else that you would like to share about L'Oreal and the end of your tenure there and why you decided to take on a new challenge?
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I think it is very important to share, like, why did I leave this transnational giant for a startup marketplace? So I look at it like this: when you are working in a vendor, you
Mhm.
have very limited data, you have very limited understanding of how the big e-com actually works. Of course, you do the top to tops, you talk to the managers, you read all the articles and test and learn, but you don't really know in the depth, in the very detail, how does it work. And my thought was, okay, so I've reached a certain level at L'Oreal. I was e-commerce director for mass market brands, good position. But what can I bring? What can I teach myself? What is the next challenge? What will I bring to the table to my next employer? And this is when I started to search, and I decided, okay, I want to go back to retail. I want to go back to e-commerce retail to understand how does the marketplace really work inside, from the inside. How
Mhm.
do they manage to sell those millions and millions of products? What is the data behind? How those algorithms work? And that is what pushed me to the market, and that is why I joined Joom. And from my understanding, it was a win-win situation because I knew what I'm going to get from this relationship, and I could understand what I can bring because my commercial background, my understanding of how the vendor works, where they're willing to invest, what is important, how do they treat retail media, and etc. That is what I could bring to the table for Joom. And the relationship went great. And so I joined Joom a year, wait, August 21, I guess.
During
A
the
year.
pandemic, pretty much in Portugal is quite strict, right? I think you're in Portugal, so in Lisbon.
Yes, yes. It actually was a long journey because the company is actually from Riga, from Latvia. And from first, I worked from Israel, and I spent a couple of months in Israel before I worked from Turkey. So good thing it was very open to hybrid and fully remote schedule. So, and after a while, we decided to move our headquarters to Lisbon, and that is actually the process that is going on right now. We moved, I think, maybe 40 or 50 people, and we plan to move even more. So now, yes, I'm here in Lisbon since the beginning of the year. I love it. I love it. It's a very good place. I mean, well,
It's
every place.
warm.
Well,
It's warm
compared to
compared to
Israel,
Denmark.
it's not that warm. I mean,
Yeah, true.
it's not hot. I mean, you can survive. You can survive. And I mean, the people are, these are the most nice people I have ever met in my life. So polite, so
Hmm.
nice. Like a fun story, the worst people you want to talk to is your service providers, right? If you have issues with the internet, you're like calling and they're like, okay, first wait for a year. Then I mean, they don't understand you. They say you're the fool. Did you restart your computer and all
Hmm.
that? So I was calling my NOS provider, and I was about to yell at them because I mean, I work from home. I really need my internet. And they were so nice. They were so polite that in 10 minutes they didn't fix anything. I mean, it, nothing was fixed. But I was okay. Thank you. You're so nice. I forgot. I mean, I was armorless. I couldn't scream
Hmm.
at them and say, "Give me my internet." So very nice country. Okay, so anyway, uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
June.
but about June, yeah, exactly. You said that this is a marketplace, and I find it very interesting. I was doing some research. Latvia is a country with 1.8 million people. I mean, it's Copenhagen. It's so I'm in Denmark, right? 6
Yeah,
million. I think it's the size of like I'm just yeah making it like a really bad statement, but almost like Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a million maybe, so it's very small and. Interestingly, it's a top marketplace in the world, right? So I was very curious about it. It's like I think ranked in at least in the 20
well, in
in the
top 100.
25 largest top 25
Mhm.
marketplace in the world. So quite interesting. Maybe you can give us an overview on Joom and what is it that you guys are doing, the
Sure,
business model, the challenges. That'll be cool.
sure. So the beauty of a tech company is that it doesn't matter where you are, you can
Hmm.
work globally, and that's what actually June does. So even though the headquarters was it was in Latvia, now in Lisbon, and I mean Portugal is also 10 million people, not a huge market,
Hmm.
but we operate globally. We operate in Western Europe, in Eastern Europe, in CIS countries, in Kazakhstan, in United States. You can even buy something in Philippines. So
Hmm.
all over the world, cross border. And I believe that borders is something that's old and I mean for modern business, borders is just lines on the maps, but you
Hmm.
actually can build something that would go through those lines like they're transparent. So the supply for us is also on a global scale. Of course, a lot of products come from China, but I mean, what retail doesn't have a lot of products coming from China? But it's not only China, it is also Korea, Thailand, Europe, Eastern Europe, like Poland, or Western Europe, like France and Germany. We have products from United States, from Turkey. So actually, you can buy everything from everywhere,
Hmm.
from any country, virtually any country, and being virtually in any country. And big thank you to our logistics team because they are the ones. I mean, operations is one of the biggest pillars for marketplace, and
Sure.
these guys manage to work with so many countries, help us get the products from China to Latvia, from China to
Mhm.
Germany, from Germany to Kazakhstan, and etc. And this is very challenging, very challenging. So
Yeah, the question I would have, I think that's the perfect segue because since you operate and you sell, well, you have the let's say the demand from many supplies from many countries, but also demand like the where the products are going also to many other countries. And I would like you maybe to touch upon some of the major challenges that you have, especially in terms of payments or logistics. Can you perhaps talk about this? Because and also the model, like 1P, 3P. What's the you know?
Okay, so I start from the end. From the end. I mean, I'm from
Mhm.
Israel. I start right to left.
Yeah.
Uh, so we're totally 3P model. There is no stocks that we own, and that is
Mhm.
actually what makes us very flexible
Got
because
it.
we don't have those huge warehouses. We don't have those. The biggest pain in the ass for the retail is the old stocks that you cannot sell, but you still have, and you need to destroy them. We don't have those issues. So, what are the challenges? I would start just what comes in top of mind. I don't have, the bullet list of what is more major, but one of the thing is demand. So demand
Mhm.
is very different from country to country, and of course you have something that is similar. I mean, if we have, for example, those Nikes from Germany that are
Mhm.
lower versus you can buy in your own country. Of course, that is something that sells. Or if you see those crazy TikTok videos with Chinese products that I mean, you're looking at the video and you didn't even know such product could exist. And at Joom, you could buy these products on massively, where 2-3 times more reasonably priced than all those Shopify stores that sell those products. But the real challenge is, okay, we have a couple of millions of products. We have a couple of millions of shoppers from all over the world. What should we show to you, Carlos? What should we show to me, Mikhail? What should we show to, I don't know, some person in Latvia or in Kazakhstan? And this is a very big challenge. And that is why we have uh, tech under the hood that helps us to sort the
Personalization, like to
yeah,
personalize products. Yeah.
exactly. But
Mhm.
then when you personalize, you need lots of data because
Yeah.
those system needs data to learn. And one of the big challenges, okay, we're going to a new country. For example, we're starting Saudi Arabia, and we don't know what people they're like, and we need to understand, okay, what factors can we use of the ones that we have in order to show the right products, in order to have sufficient conversion, in order for us to be sustainable and profitable. So that's a big challenge. So our ML teams, our category teams, our business development teams who know the markets, and even our client support teams who talk to the clients. And one of the advantages of Joom is that you don't talk to a machine when you ask for support. You don't talk to a Chinese seller directly. You talk
Mhm.
to a real person in your own language, and you can, discuss something. What are your issues? What do you want to see on the platform, and etc. And combining all those things, shuffling them around, testing, lots of testing, A/B testing, ABC testing, and etc. That is how we touch base and find the right setup for each country, for each origin, for each item that we sell.
That, Mikkel, can I? It's very interesting, but I would like to ask you then about, because I think from what I can see, it seems that you need to have a dedicated customer support team that speaks multiple languages. And what's that setup like? Are they in Portugal or they are spread throughout the
They're
world?
spread all over the
Yeah.
world, and I mean, and there's actually so many languages you need. You don't need every single language. We just see what is the shopper. Of course, if we're super small in some country, we wouldn't have a dedicated person. But usually, like, okay, um, we have people speaking Arabic because there are so many Arabic people in Europe.
They're like
So
Brazilians. We're all over.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
exactly,
It's
exactly.
true.
So maybe we don't sell a lot in Brazil,
Mhm.
but we have Brazilians in Portugal. We have Brazilians in all over Europe,
Mm.
or we have Indians all over the world. So, and plus we have Indian merchants who are selling to our platform. So this
Perfect.
synergy between the markets, this is what gets us the ability to talk your own language.
Mhm.
So going back to the challenges, another challenge is how do you make sure that you sell the real stuff? For example, last year we had, and I think any marketplace that deals with Chinese goods have this issue of products that would kind of look like Nike, but they are not.
Forfeit products, right?
Well, it's not like forfeit is when they say Nike, but
Yeah,
but
it's
then you get it and you understand, okay, that's not Nike. That's
it's
something that's
Nike's cousin, but it's not
yeah,
Nike.
yeah. But then, for example, you can have Nike Jordans, but they don't say
Mhm.
Nike. They would say basketball, and they have this basketball player. So if you are really like thorough, and you would look and you would understand that those are not Jordans. But if
Mhm.
you are looking for something that looks very alike, or you're not very sophisticated shopper, you may buy them and you get them and you're like, wait, now I understand why they cost $50 instead of 150. So
Mhm.
we got rid of those all those products. You cannot find fake Nikes now. We got rid of those last year, and it
Mhm.
was, I mean, it was super complex. You need tech, you need people, you need communication with the merchants. You need to have Mm, you need to be strong because those products do bring you revenue. I mean, there are people who want to buy them. So first the GMB of course went down because I mean we blocked a lot of products. We blocked the products that we had. We blocked the stream of new products that were coming from multiple origins, and we somewhat suffered. But then our tech team came up with some ideas. For example, we what we call rediscovered. So we told the algorithms of sorting that okay, show these kind of products instead of those counterfeit ones, or show to the people who saw a lot of replicas. We call them replicas. Who saw a lot of replicas, show them now, and they didn't buy. So now the algorithm thinks that you don't need no sneakers, but
Mhm.
actually when you see good quality, very reasonable price, not fake, you actually start to buy. So now the GMB is back, and this challenge we overcame. So another thing is regulations. Every
Mhm.
country has its own regulations. And
Mhm.
even, I mean, you think, okay, Europe, it's united, maybe it has the same laws, but no, it does not.
Mhm.
There are multiple laws, multiple countries, and you need to take actually the strictest one and apply it everywhere in order to be sure that you are compliant. And
For
here again,
example, so what is the strictest country in Europe? Is it Germany or?
No, no. I think maybe it's Denmark.
Oh, really?
Maybe, yeah, yeah. Maybe no. I mean I can't. I don't know all details, but I know that Denmark is, I mean, it's heavy stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
heavy. So, well, France is actually one of those. For example, we had a competitor named Vova, and now there is no Vova because they didn't pay attention to the regulations, and now they're just blocked everywhere. They stopped.
Got it.
And another competitor, which is still on the market. I'm not going to say their name. Not a good business, but they were blocked for a while in France, and now I think last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, they just said that they restarted, and it took them maybe a year or two to adjust and restart the business. But again, regulations, I mean, you need to work on the content, you need to work on the packaging, you need to work on the manuals. I mean, every product needs a manual in the language of the destination country. So you
Mhm.
need to understand where it's the CE certification. And Chinese merchants are very they can adapt. You know, if you ask, okay, do you have CE certificate? They would say yes. You would say, okay, show me your CE certificate. They would show you, but you see it's photoshopped. You tell them,
Oh my
okay,
God.
I know I know it's photoshopped. Now it's a very good quality, still photoshopped, and I mean it's very tough. And thanks to our legal team, because they
Mhm.
managed to help us. Well, they're still doing it. Certify some of the Chinese laboratories for in order for them to be able to give the merchants the real certificates that the product is safe. And I mean, we want to sell safe products. So logistics is another challenge, because when you have so many countries, you have different channels and you have different regulations. For example, you can not, or well, you can, but it costs a fortune to send some of the products by air. For example, fragrances. You need special conditions in order to move them around, and for them to still be the same quality like when you send them.
It's
Or
because it's inflammable products, right? I think
yes,
they differ, right?
yes,
Inflammable products,
yes,
dangerous goods. It's considered as a dangerous good. I I,
yes,
I
yes.
I reckon,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
You're
I
good.
have a friend who works in logistics. He worked at that department. He told me all about it.
Yeah, so dangerous goods, exactly. Then batteries, like if your phone has a battery, it's
Mhm.
you need to choose a separate channel. If you're selling a power bank, you need to choose a separate channel, and all those things. And even knives, like if you're selling knives, you need to make sure they're packed very good, because there
Right.
are people that are handling this. And you can have an accident on your warehouse when somebody grabs a package, and then there is a knife unpackaged, so they can cut
Mhm.
themselves. So logistics is very, very, very tough.
Mhm.
And I would say that if you are going to build a marketplace, first you need to understand how you're going to build logistics. And
Right.
that is why we decided to create a business unit inside of our group called Joom Logistics, that is working specifically on that. So payments, you asked about payments, and I can agree. It is also tough because
Mhm.
okay, you have Visa and Mastercard everywhere. Okay, that's
Right.
easy. But and you have PayPal. That's also
Mhm.
easy, but the commission is a little bit higher. Okay, I mean it's money. It's not complex. It's not something complex. But then every country has its local way of doing things. For example, in Portugal, you have this thing called MB Way.
Mhm.
It's purely local. and you pay by QR code. Or in MENA countries, cash on delivery. They need cash on delivery, and you need
It's
to
like
handle.
Romania, right? Romania is like that as well. It's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Or Germany, they
Mhm.
have this thing, direct invoice. So you need to invoice them directly on their bank account, and they would say, okay, yes, I agree. And that's a whole different system that you need to work at. Okay, but payments is one thing, but then the forms.
Yeah.
For example, do you know your address?
Hmm.
I
If
know
I
my.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But then, and you think, okay, everybody knows their address, right?
Sure.
No, no, they don't. So
Uh-huh.
imagine some of the some of the countries, they need a map where they would pin their
Oh,
position,
yeah,
because they
sure.
don't know their address. They do not
Hmm.
know their address. And that is something that, I mean, nobody tells us that. I mean, you're building a global business, you think, okay, let's ask for address, let's ask for zip code, and we're done. No, no, you need to understand, okay, these guys know their addresses. These guys don't need addresses, they need the form.
Yeah.
An example, what was surprising for me is in Portugal, you always need to put in your zip code. Like I would used to, okay, the zip code is for international, but for local, you don't need a zip code, you need a password, an address. But here you
Mhm.
need zip codes. Another example, the length of the address, or do you need to put in the state? Do you need,
Mhm.
what do you call a state? Like, and some of the logistic companies, they say, okay, I need you to give me the state. But I mean, okay, in the United States, we know what a state is, but what is a state in Portugal or in Germany? And that's a whole thing you need to understand. You need to dig into very details of that and understand, how am I going to be successful? Because in order to be successful in the country, you need to be as local as you can. You need
Perfect.
to give local experience. You need to speak to the shopper on their language, and that means
Mhm.
not only the language you speak, but in the forms, in the payments, in the products, in the content, in the reviews, everything, everything. And the more local you are, the better. And I mean,
Mhm.
it even comes with the colors. Like, for example, we are now understanding, okay, our website is is red. It is red. But then some people connect red to China, and we don't want to be perceived as a Chinese marketplace because we're actually aren't. We're from Europe. Or platform wise. For example, we started as a purely mobile platform, only app, but then going into Europe and understanding, okay, but in Germany, you still like over 50% of the sales go from web. Or,
Mhm.
for example, your advertising. Okay, TikTok, Facebook, but imagine 24 of German millennials and Gen Z, young people. Guess what? They read newspapers. They read newspapers. That was mind blowing for me because I mean, I'm what, 37? I don't
Same thing.
remember. I don't remember when the last time I read a newspaper, but I mean, everyone is different. Everyone is
Mhm.
different, so you need to respect that. You need to adjust. So, like a
Mhm.
vendor adjusts to the retail business, the retail business adjusts to the shopper, the consumer. And here, actually, a very interesting synergy that a vendor and a retailer can have. For example, L'Oreal is the best company to ask, okay, who is the beauty shopper in Germany and how do they differ versus a beauty shopper in United States or in Kazakhstan or in Latvia? And vendors, they do understand that because they create products the products are for a certain segment. So they can tell you, okay, here the beauty shopper is like this, and this is their shopping behavior. This is where they consume. This is what media they consume. This is the language you need to speak to them in order to succeed.
Mhm.
And then this is what marketplaces can learn from vendors, and it's again a win-win situation. It is this. It is something that you need to exchange in order for both businesses to grow, to succeed, and to win the market.
I think this is a really fascinating topic. I told you I've always worked with international expansion, not so much on the tech front, but like more like on like a frontliner, if you like, visiting countries. I've been in Romania like 17 times, and so it's interesting compared to Denmark, for example, the culture, the cash on delivery part, and I'm fully on board with everything you're saying. So localization, but also understanding the culture. I mean, if you don't get that, you're just not going to succeed, right? So I find that a fascinating topic. We are on to like 48 minutes already, and this conversation is flying by. So what I like to ask you, because I have a hard stop here at 6 o'clock. Perhaps you can. So let's. Before talking about maybe remote work, you touched upon buying behavior, and this is something I find it very interesting. So you guys are probably advertising the platform, or I don't know if you're advertising helping vendors as well to push their products. But tell me a bit about your marketing split, if you can. Where are you pushing, and which countries do you have most traffic from? I mean, we spoke about the downloads. It's just crazy. You have 20 million users in your base, like active users. So perhaps you can talk about the marketing spend, where consumers they come from, and what. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So of course I cannot give you the split, but I can give you an understanding like where our shopper comes from. Of course, the biggest chunk is your own shoppers, because you have them, they already downloaded your app, and you need to have the share of thought and a habit. Like, okay, if I want to buy something, where do I go? Do I go to Amazon? Do I go to Joom? Okay, here we have a split share of thought, and then you need to give the shopper an idea. Okay, the consideration stage, like, okay, for what do I go for Joom, and why should I go to Amazon? Like, for example, I need something fast tomorrow. That's Amazon. Joom does not deliver the next day. Okay, I want to save some money. Amazon is not the cheapest place to purchase something. You go to Joom. Okay, I want this TikTok product, and usually you don't need TikTok products tomorrow. Okay, I go to Joom, and that is the communication you need to give to your shopper. And here the biggest communication channels are your own push campaigns, your email campaigns, what you do on the app, what you do on the website, and etc. So big chunk is your own shopper. Okay, somebody is kind of forgetting you. So okay, boom, remarketing. Let's remind them. And here you need to understand where your shopper is at. And okay, where are the shoppers? Everyone is on social media. So okay, the first and one of the biggest sources of traffic, of course, is social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That is, if you look at the internet usage, like what people do, they go on social. They socialize, they share, they consume there, and that is the biggest chunk. So another thing is, for example, Google Shopping. Like, okay, I need to buy something specific. I need to buy, I don't know, a new Xiaomi watch or whatever. You go to Google usually, and you just type, I want to buy whatever. And that is another thing where you need to be. You need to be on those on the Google Shopping, on the advertising there. Then another huge thing is search engine optimization, because you invest in long term. There is no winning tomorrow, but
Mhm.
if you invest and do some hard stuff and work on that, you will get free traffic from the searches. And the higher you get, okay, I mean that's no brainer that the higher you are on Google, the more traffic you will get. So I guess that is what I can tell you about marketing.
Yes, sure. I appreciate it. How many are you, Mikhail, in the company today?
How many
Employees.
how
Yeah.
many people?
How many
It's
people?
a
Yeah.
couple of hundred. A couple of hundred.
Okay, cool. And you said so the app is quite big for you guys, right? Uh,
Yeah.
are you doing live shopping? What are some of the things that you're doing that people are talking so much today about?
So what we have and what is actually specific to our platform, as we have an internal social media
Hmm.
where the shoppers can animate the sales. They would do posts, they would do live streams, and show their experience with the product. And this is what we like. But pure live shopping, I cannot say that we cracked it. And
Hmm.
back in L'Oreal, we were trying to crack it. I'm not sure. Maybe now they did, but back then when I was there, Asia, okay, it was booming. I mean, it was fantastic. Once I visited Alibaba campus, just to to understand how the Tmall business is working, and it was crazy. They would show me a live stream of a person eating noodles, and by the way, they were selling like millions of lipsticks, I think. Millions and millions through 1 hour of live stream where they eat noodles. So it is crazy in Asia. But then in
Hmm.
the Western world, I think it is getting there, because a lot of brands are trying, a lot of brands are investing in that. There are platforms, they are on social media, but I don't think we cracked it yet. And I think that is something that will come in the future.
Um, I want to ask you about differentiation before we wrap this up, and I'm taking this conversation somewhere else. But how do you differentiate? Because I think, yeah, in the world of B2B, we talk about having a point of view. I think it's very important. Like maybe B2C as well. You guys are a business, right? So how do you differentiate from Amazon besides being the cheapest option? Is it convenience? Is it newness? Is it can you perhaps give some of the differentiation?
So first, of course, is the price, because as I said before, Amazon is not the most reasonably priced platform,
Mhm.
and the cost of sales, just doing business there, I mean, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
over 50% you will give back to Amazon. And here we can win with the price. So you can just go on Amazon, compare some of the stuff versus Joom. I mean, you can save triple. You can buy a lot cheaper at Joom, but the trade-off is the time. Like, okay, if Amazon is fast, we're usually delivering in about 3 weeks. If you talk from China
Got
to
it.
Europe, Europe to Europe, of course, is pretty fast, but from China to Europe, it's about 3 weeks. And you will need to wait, but you will save. And nowadays, when the inflation is crazy, when you need to think what you shop for, think where you spend your money, I think it's a winning bet. So second is assortment,
Mhm.
because we have so many origins, and we have some weird products from China, but also we have some local products from India, for example. And there are a lot of Indian people living all over the world, and they are nostalgic, if I may say. They
Yeah.
like to buy something that reminds them of their homeland, of how they grew up, or maybe they just love the products. For example, the incense, the sticks, you know, you light them up, they smell nice. I mean, everybody loves those, and India is the biggest producer of that. So I would say versus Amazon, it is assortment and price. And one other thing is very simple, easy to use application. You don't have all those, you know, blocks. And if you try to find something on Amazon, it is pretty hard. Like you need to click and dig in, understand, okay, where should I click? There is this, that, and everything. And in our app, it is pretty easy to find something. And another type of competitor is those big cross-border platforms. For example, AliExpress, right? AliExpress is huge. It's available all over the world, and probably if you ask someone, okay, where should I buy some crazy Chinese stuff, you would say AliExpress. But then people who have bought at AliExpress, they would say, okay, some of the things that I buy, I actually buy and throw it in the garbage because the quality is very low. And there is, you need to be like a very smart, experienced shopper to understand, okay, I should buy this, but I should not buy that. And that is tough. And I think that is why AliExpress created this new platform, Miravia, where they pre-select quality goods. And this is what we're doing now. We are pre-selecting the goods from China that are both reasonably priced and are of satisfactory and higher quality. So I mean, we do have some hiccups in the quality, but on the majority of things you buy and you use, you don't throw it away. And this pre-selection of the goods is what differentiates us from AliExpress. And another thing is service. Like if you have a dispute, you would talk to this Chinese merchant who would tell you, okay, please, maybe I will give you a discount or something, and it's translated, and so on and so on. And at Joom, you talk with the real person in your own language.
Brilliant. Mikel, I'll have to stop, so I'll thank you for now very much. If people want to know more about Joom and about Mikel Brekker, what's the best way to get in touch and to know about the platform?
I think if you want to get in touch with me, just reach out for LinkedIn. And if you want to know about Joom, just download the app, buy some things, and it's a very low barrier of entrance. You could buy for €5 or something, and you will understand. You will love it, and you will not go back to any other platform. I would say it like this.
Sweet, man. Mikel, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. There was one question, so I'll ask Pedro to get in touch. But basically, all right, let's just do it now. Pedro wants to know if you're delivering B2C orders to any country, and if the company is doing better at selling B2C or B2B. What's the
so Joom.com is purely B2C. We have a separate division, Joom Pro, that's doing B2B. Actually, our second biggest market is Brazil. But yeah, B2C, Joom is B2C. Our biggest market is Western Europe, so Germany, France, UK, and etc. You cannot buy in every single country of the world, like some African countries that are not available, but it's over 100 countries worldwide.
Brilliant. Miguel, thank you very much, and we'll catch up soon. All right. Thanks for this.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks for the opportunity. It was fun. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye.
Yeah, take care. Bye.